Red states give their voters free homes with no down payment. The Section 502 Guaranteed Loan Program assists approved lenders in providing low and moderate income households the opportunity to own adequate... What is this? Also, it's not for free. You still have to live in a red state. Anyway, what's going on here? Trump administration moves to drop Idaho emergency abortion case with national implications. Yeah, I think this might be bad. Emergency abortion case, one of the first moves of the issue since Trump began his second term. The Justice Department filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, which was originally filed by the Biden administration, and allow Idaho to fully enforce its strict abortion ban, even during emergency situations. Yeah, basically, the Biden administration sued Idaho to challenge their extreme anti-abortion law, and Trump is dropping that. I guess that's to be expected. It's not like the DOJ is going to continue doing this when Trump's in charge, right? Does this get us closer to a federal abortion ban? No, not necessarily. I think it's more a signaling from the Trump administration that they're not going to hold back any red states from pursuing it. I don't think this is really a step towards the national ban. More of a, the real question will be what the Supreme Court ends up doing on the continual efforts of red states to extradite doctors in blue states who prescribe abortion pills. That's the shit that I'm interested in seeing play out, because that could potentially be pretty scary. Well, till then, we'll see, I suppose. Let's see, President of Panama doesn't think that Trump is going to reclaim it. We'll see about that. Did you hear Texas introduced a brand new bill that makes being trans a felony and could affect gays too? Well, trans people are annoying, but gays? I fall in that category. Houston lawmaker proposes bill that could charge transgender Texans with fraud. Under HB 3817, Texans could be charged with gender identity fraud for identifying as a sex different from the one they were assigned at birth. What? Okay, dude. Okay. All right. Last year, Texas barred trans people from changing their sex on state-issued driver's licenses and birth certificates to match their gender identity. Now they want to make that mismatch a crime punishable by prison time. Whew! A new form of fraud. Gender identity fraud. A person would commit gender identity fraud by, quote, identifying the person's biological sex as the opposite of the biological sex assigned to the person at birth. Committing gender identity fraud under the proposal would be a state jail felony. The lowest level of felony in Texas. Oh, good news there. A person found guilty would be subject to up to 2 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Sheesh. So it would make them unable to vote too, Lamau? Oliverson's office did not respond to a request for comment. Yeah, this would mean that if you're transgender, you can't even travel through Texas. Like, if you're in California and your ID says you're a woman when you've got dick and balls, and then you drive through Texas, you get stopped by a cop. They take a look at their ID, they take a look at you, and they're like, hey, dick and ball check. Dick and ball check, put him in my mouth. Put him in my... Hey, ma'am, put him in my mouth. And then he's like, yep, that's a transgender. And your ass is going to prison. What about flying? You would be fine flying, because when you're at the airport, if you're getting like a layover in Texas, you're dealing with federal officials, not state officials. The TSA, everyone you talk to at the airport, they're federal. So if this becomes a federal crime, then that's that. But for now, it's just a state thing. Well, it's not even a state thing. This is just a proposed bill. This hasn't passed. It's why even if you travel from Colorado to Canada, you can't carry weed. Well, if you're well, I guess they're not connected via land, but yes, the federal government. Let's see. Oliver's proposal faces an uphill climb to become law, as the 3,817th bill filed during the 2025 legislative session. The bill is a low priority in the chamber. It has no co-sponsors and has not yet been scheduled for a committee hearing. Nice. Then you've got a bunch of gay paragraphs from people who are like, this is bad, this is fascism. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're telling me there's something wrong with it being a felony just to exist and not hurt anyone? Come on. Hysterical, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So wait, how would this affect gay people? I don't think this affects me at all. If anything, it's fine, you know? I don't get hurt. They're next. There's no way. I've followed the LGB drop the T accounts, and there's no way the people going after trans rights would then also go after gay rights. They're totally different things. This would surely apply to people who look transgender. Well, it says based on your ID, not based on like a sniff test. But, you know, given the way things are these days, who knows? I'll learn more about this fella, State Rep Tom Oliverson. Usually these kinds of ostentatious, attention-getting bills, these people have a history of filing lots of them. This fella wanted to reduce property taxes, wanted to abolish property taxes. In 2023, sponsored House Bill 1686 to ban certain gender-affirming medical treatments for trans minors. Well, he's got a history on it. Not as ostentatious of a background as I expected. He's an anesthesiologist. Huh. What the fuck is with the asshole fash doctors? Oh, a ton of doctors are huge pieces of shit. They're literally in the labor aristocracy. I think there's just something very, like, innately alienating about being a doctor, you know? Because you have all of the clinical distance provided by the medical system as in bureaucracy. You have to cope with the fact that even the most minor treatment you provide people will cost them hundreds or thousands of dollars. Like, you have to file that in your brain and, like, process it. Also, you're very wealthy on average relative to other workers. Might have started wealthy because med school is expensive. You have a lot of, like, if I made it, why can't other people? Because you've got a lot of student debt to pay off. You don't want other people getting their debt cut. It's, I don't know. American doctors are very different from anywhere else. I've heard that. Like, Cuban doctors, apparently every single one of them is like Jesus Christ Almighty, you know? They're like making, I don't know, 35,000 Cuban pesos every year. And they're like, what if rather than like lounging on my gorgeous Havana, you know, 2-story balconied flat, sipping a margarita for 6 hours a day, what if I went to Somalia and treated people with, like, plague worms there? I don't know. Whatever makes you happy, man. I'd like 35,000 Cuban pesos. Was I right with that? Do they use pesos over there? I don't actually know what currency they use in Cuba. Yes? All right, cool. Pesos. It's a good, strong word. I like it. Even Colbert is complaining the Dems aren't doing shit. I don't know what's going to change when you lose Colbert. Yeah, Colbert is not as meaningfully critical of the Democrats as Jon Stewart has been historically. I didn't know that, AlexMex90. Thank you. Peso means weight. Jon Stewart says Elon Musk flaked on interview offer. You know that that's bullshit. Yeah, I saw this. This one was really, really, really good. I think it was Jon Stewart goaded Elon, and Elon said he would go on the show. He accepted, but then he said he would only do it if the show airs unedited. So Jon Stewart immediately was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll absolutely have you on, and we'll air it unedited. And then Elon was like, and also it gets live broadcasted to X, the everything app. I can't play this because it's copyright, but you know. Can you imagine how different the world would be if he had gone through with the fight that he was going to do with Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg had just instantly, like, killed him with a single punch to the head? The very, like, timeline shift, you know? Like, that would be, you know, Hannibal crossing the Alps, Rome must burn moment right there. How is Elon this bad at everything? It really does reaffirm my position that, like, it's not a matter of how competent you are, really. It's just media control, right? It doesn't matter how embarrassing you are. Like, Trump is obviously an evil pedophile. Elon is obviously an evil, maybe a pedophile. I don't actually think there's been substantial evidence to that point in either direction. No one's asked him directly. No one has the balls. He's certainly sympathetic, considering his associations. Looking into this.